Good afternoon, guys. First, my thanks to XENA Foundation for allowing me this opportunity to talk to you. Some of you are new, some of you have been there a long time, and I hope this will be beneficial to you. Shall we start, Rajiv?
Yeah.
Okay. I've broken this talk up into 5 sections. Last time we discussed the importance of dealing with personal stress, because that's something that is very, very common these days. Okay. And stress comes in all shapes and sizes. The topic today, or the layer, I call these layers in the treatment. The layer today is the past. And to me, this is a sensitive issue because, as I was telling Rajiv, I am really shocked at what percentage of people I talk to in my personal world or in my healing world, especially women, have had a very unpleasant childhood. It could be violence from the parents, family. Many cases, it is sexual assault. In many cases, especially with guys, it's bullying. And these things scar us. They leave an impact. Today, I'm dealing with a child who's heavily overweight, bitter, angry, antisocial, etc. And its origin seems to go back to bullying in school, at which point he turned really angry and bitter at everyone. And now, as a grown man of 30, this is an undercurrent in his life. सब पे गुस्सा है, सब लोग बदमाश हैं, सब लोग हरामी हैं, you know. So it's very important when you're healing somebody or attempting to heal somebody that you try and understand what is there in the past. And frankly, even people who have told me, listen, I had a lovely childhood, great parents, great this, great that, they may still have incidents where they have experienced fear, shock, and that has not really left them. Okay. Somebody fell into an ice cold lake. Somebody had a car crash. The parents crashed the car while they were in the car. It can be many things. Now, the importance of this cannot be underestimated for the simple reason our minds are essentially programmable. If you have had an experience of being bitten by a dog at the age of 10, for example, the rest of the years that follow will be conditioned by this experience. You will not like dogs. You maybe not like animals at all. Okay. And that pattern then becomes part of your makeup. It could be anything that has happened in your life that has left a significant impact. This will condition your future behavior. And it can affect everything from your academics to your personal life, to your sexual life, to everything. People don't let go the past. And truly, it is the basis of a lot of healing. And tell people, first thing, let go. I get cursed sometimes by people who said, how dare you tell me to let go? I cannot forgive my mother. I cannot let this event go. I was 5 years old when it happened. And I keep asking, I said, but now you're 65. Why are you holding on to an incident that took place when you were 5 years old? Unless you are doing it because it suits you to do it, to be very honest, because it becomes an excuse for everything. Oh, this happened to me when I was 5 years old, and therefore I am so and so, and this is my, these are my emotions. You have to be wanting and willing to let go. Now, there are specifically some remedies among the Bach which deal with this. Okay. The key remedy is walnut. Let go the trauma of the past. The next remedy is honeysuckle, which is strange because it says let go the good events of the past. I know women who have got married but have not yet let go the boyfriend from college. They still have that feeling and longing and whatever in their mind. And believe me, it upsets the current relationship. I know someone else who's had a lot of issues with a husband because he wanted to leave the current town, go to a new town. His career prospects were better. But she says, no, I've grown up in this town. I know all the streets. I like the opera. I like X. I like Y. I don't want to let this go. I will never be happy in another town. And unfortunately, that is the way it kind of happens because, I mean, I'm talking about this in Europe. And in Europe, almost all towns are very, very similar. Very similar. So there's not such a drastic change of going from a town in Germany to another town in Germany. But this lady is adamant, I will never be happy in any other town. And she's so convinced that relationship with her husband, which was perfect otherwise, has become very problematic because she's determined to be unhappy and to look back. I mean, we have a great song in Hindi that says, what was that? I think Murmur ke naad, no, not that. Well, to roughly paraphrase, you can't walk forward if you're always looking over your shoulder. And you must not carry the trauma of the past forward. Likewise, you must not carry the longings of the past forward. Okay, you left that boyfriend, you got married to somebody else. You cannot keep dwelling on that relationship. I genuinely know a large number of women who haven't let go their childhood, college sweetheart, yet they're married today with children. I know cases of people who got divorced 30, 40 years ago, but still maintain a constant day-to-day interaction with the ex-husband, who they left because he was violent, destructive, angry, whatever, whatever. But that codependency is so severe that I had to tell this lady, I said, how do I heal you? If you are unwilling to let go, this, what I can call horrible relation that you had, you divorced the man because of it. But 40 years later, you still call him every single day. You visit him frequently. Why is this? You know, why has this person become a crutch to you? And that word crutch is very important. Sometimes our past is used as a crutch, as a way to justify our current behavior, as a way to hold on to something that we liked at once, and it interferes with the current healing process. And then when you try to find out, why do you have heavy acidity, GERD, breathing problems, XYZ, why do you not sleep well at night? And again, always the answer comes back, oh, is something from my past that is troubling me. And either I'm not able to let it go, and in some cases, I don't want to let it go. Okay. As I said, in fact, I'm dealing with someone who's trying to tell me, oh, it's been 10 days. When will my son get okay? And I said, do you realize how much anger your son has got going back to his school days against everyone? He's not willing to let go his anger. You cannot expect to change 20 years of an emotional state of mind in 10 days. It cannot happen. Bach remedies are not coercive remedies like allopathy. Okay. They don't make you into a zombie. They don't stop and kill your feelings. But if you consciously wish to get over that anger, okay, it can be done. I remember I shared this experience in 1999. I lost close to $25 million, hard-earned, self-made money. And the people friends who were responsible for this were actually taking out articles in the news, Times of India, front page, talking about what wonderful businessmen they were, all on the basis of my company, my software, my work. And I used to tell myself, in those days we didn't have social media. The first thing one did in the morning was open the newspaper. And there would be this article. And I told myself, I said, listen, Ashok, you're going to read this article and you are going to get past your anger. I used to keep the remedy willow, which is for feeling like a victim, the remedy holly, which is for anger, and a couple of others right beside my pillow. And I would take those remedies consciously, knowingly, telling myself that a time has to come when you can read these articles without feeling anger at these people. My Guruji had told me much the same. He said things go wrong in life, but when they do, you must not blame others. You will destroy yourself. As long as you can blame someone, feel angry at others, you will not resolve the issue and you will not solve your problems. You will not go forward. So you need to let go. You need to forgive if needed. I'll tell you honestly, months go by and I don't even think of what these people have done. Today, my own sister is stealing my $2.5 million apartment. My lawyer asks me, Ashok, you don't get angry, you don't abuse, you don't shout, scream in my office. I said, why should I do that? I'm fighting a case, I'll try and win, but I'm not going to go to sleep angry at night. I'm not going to wake up in the morning angry and bitter about this whole issue. I'm going to go on with my life. No. He said, oh, to fight a thief, you have to become a thief. I said, no. That's why I'm hiring a lawyer. That's your job. I am not going to disturb my harmony, what the Japanese call wa, W-A, inner harmony. I'm not going to let this world disturb my inner harmony. Because all the good things in my life come out of that feeling. Because of some bad events, why should I disturb my whole life? I refuse to do it. So dealing with your past, letting it go, forgiving the people who are responsible, correct, is very important. The recent case, someone from the Gulf said, I have this patient, she's got cancer of the breast, it's all full of pus, etc. And can you suggest something? I said, ask the lady what she's so angry about. She said, oh, no, she's not angry. She says she's a sweet person, loves everyone, tries to help everyone, etc., etc. I said, I disagree. Please talk to her. And next day the answer came out. Said, I hate my mother with a vengeance. She ruined my childhood. She was a drunkard. I will never forgive my mother. The amount of bitterness inside this woman was incredible. And that is what was driving the cancer. I've seen this in so many cases where someone says, I have this problem, I have these, what do you call them? Tumors, X, Y, I'm developing X problem. And every time I asked them, I said, what are you so angry about? He said, well, my husband left me, or this happened, or that happened in my life. I can't get over it. Many cases, I don't want to get over it. I had one friend who told me very clearly, oh, my anger is my strength. It's a basis for my success. Because she'd had a bad experience as a young teenager, and she has carried this incident of rape through her head. And she's very proud. She says, my anger makes me strong. And I said, your anger is killing you. You don't realize it. One of my staff was the same. He horrible feelings towards his father who abandoned them, mother when he was 1 year old. Made the same statement. Oh, Ashok, my anger is my strength. It saw me through my engineering, my MBA, etc. And I used to tell him, I said, will you let go? It is not your strength, it is a poison. No, why should I let go? Okay. 5 years ago, both his kidneys spiked up, and he's living on a transplanted kidney from his mother. You have to let the past go. Unfortunately, there is no other solution to so many of our current problems. And that's why this is this very critical second layer in my healing process. Yes, first is deal with current stress. The second is deal with the past. Do not ignore the past because it will keep pulling you back. You may resolve certain issues in the current, but the past will keep pulling you back. And I share all these experiences with people because this pattern has been there since I've been observing these patterns for the last 40 years. Why is this person so sick? Why does this person get burning acidity? Why does this woman have fibromyalgia? You know, some people accept it, acknowledge it, and the Bach remedies help you move on. There are 7 or 8 remedies, like I mentioned to you: walnut, honeysuckle, willow, holly, star of Bethlehem, okay, olive, which help you to forgive and let go. But you first have to acknowledge that you want to forgive and you want to let go because you want to be healthy today. Someone put it very simply: holding anger inside you is like drinking acid, hoping it will burn the other person. All philosophers have talked about this from the time of the Greeks. Anger affects the liver, etc. Now, the cause for anger can be in the current, in which case it is much easier to deal with. But very often the cause of anger is in the past. It's got embedded in your psyche, your way of thinking. Like this boy from the age of 10, 11 is so full of anger towards his school, his friends, his family, and everyone, that at the age of 30, he works for a very well-known multinational, but they have refused to promote him for 7 years. Everyone else has got promoted except this man because they don't see him as being a team player. He's good at his work, but they do not see him as being someone they want to push to levels of management because of the hostility and anger that he. The funny thing is, the origins of this lie 20 years in the past. He's not willing to let go. So I come back to this. Our past is like a well of experience. We can draw from it. We can learn from the lessons of the past. It helps us manage our lives today. But if there are events in our past that caused us, or whatever, are still causing us great amounts of angst and anger and jealousy, etc., then we have to let that past go. If you refuse to let that past go, it will pull you back and you will not heal. Healing begins with that. I have seen numerous cases where a woman has accepted this, had leukemia. One day she left home, disappeared for 4 hours, went to the church, went to confession, let go her anger at a mother who had been a drunkard when she was a kid. I've seen people go through this realization that our past is killing us today. And therefore, in the Bach remedy treatment process that I follow, I always spend some time dealing with the past, or it will pull us back. We won't go forward in the healing process. Now, this is, as I said, a sensitive subject that can raise a lot of questions. And Rajiv has suggested that these questions of yours be put in the comment section, because he publishes this recording. And if you put your questions in the comment section, I will answer each one. But if some of you feel that your issue is so personal, you don't want to do it publicly, you're free to message me directly. And I'll do my best to answer that. Okay? Because this is, as I said, a very sensitive issue. Very often people don't talk about it. They deny it, they hide it. But to someone like me who's been dealing with healing for 40 years now, it actually becomes very visible even on the person's face. Okay? You can see the lines of anger. You can see the stress in the face. Now, the other thing that can cause this stress, of course, is anger and fear. We'll come to that in the next two sessions. But the point I'm making is, if this is because of events in the past, then you owe it to yourself to let go, to forgive, to forget, and move on with your life. You cannot hold on to the past to such a degree that it poisons your mind today. You really have to do this. I can't be more explicit and firm about this one point. Dealing with present issues is tough enough. You lost your job, broken relationship, bad songs, something else. These we can deal with much more easily if there is nothing from the past which is pulling you back. So for me, the second layer of all healing is, please let the past go. Ho gaya is over, it's done. Learn the lessons from it and move forward. Rajiv, we still got 10 minutes more? Yeah. Sorry, I read the time wrong. So, I mean, all meditation, all the religious guidance that you get, all the stuff that you read from the philosophers, correct? All of them will harp on this fact. But do not carry your past forward into your present. It is over, it is done with. Now, unfortunately, allopathic medicine and all these therapies do not help very much. Yes, talking about the problem to a therapist helps. But they have no drugs that can actually help you heal from the past. In the Bach remedies, there are specific remedies that address this issue of the past. They release those memories. Example, as I said, is walnut. After the Gulf War, there was a lot of PTSD. And a lot of research was done. And they were able to identify that the memory of that incident resides in a part of the brain, and the emotions attached to it reside in a slightly different part of the brain. So it is possible to release the emotion without damaging the memory. It's not like electroshock therapy, where you actually wipe out the entire event. No, you can remember the past, but the emotions attached to those events, to that experience, can be released. That is the major effect of the remedy called walnut. The remedy called Star of Bethlehem helps you get over the trauma you experienced. That trauma leaves an imprint on your mind. You have to wipe out that imprint. Okay? Remedies like willow, which make you think that you are a victim of something, are a tremendous benefit. I often remind myself when I look back at my past, and I could say, oh, what bad luck, horrible things happened to me, XYZ did this, that. And I remind myself of these 4 lines. I cried because I had no shoes, till I met a child who had no feet. One of the best remedies or medicines in the world is gratitude. Yes, things do go wrong in our lives. They have gone wrong. But today things are different. Why are you spoiling the present because of the past? You have all your arms, legs, eyes, ears, you have an education, you have all this. I tell people this on Facebook. I say the very fact that you're on Facebook, that you're educated, that you can read, write, you possess a smartphone, etc. That should fill you with a sense of gratitude that I have something that others don't have. They can't even dream of owning a phone and being online sharing. So yet on the Facebook page, all you're doing is bitching, complaining whether about a husband or a wife or a whatever else it is. I say, why do you do that? You want a place to vent out. One thing is very good. Go find a tree that you like and go and talk to that tree. Pour out all your grief into that. Why are you doing this on social media? Why are you not looking at the fact that you're one of the privileged few who have access to social media, where you can also get very inspirational quotations, etc., from positive people who have overcome their own challenges. I've got a bunch of such people. I love reading it because they're always positive and they're always saying the same thing. Okay, something went wrong. It could be marriage, it could be X, it could be Y, it could be anything. But I have got over it. I'm a stronger person because of it. Because that is what happens. When you manage to get over your past and you get over these events, they will actually make you stronger than you were before. I told you one lady was very angry at me. How dare Ashok suggest I forgive? I said, what will forgiveness cost you? You think you are losing something when you forgive others? You are gaining. You will be stronger for it. You will be more at peace. Your health will be a lot better. And I said, I've repeatedly seen this in cases of cancer, where call it an epiphany or whatever, that person really reaches a certain point where they let go. All these chronic cases, fibromyalgia, cancer, asthma, etc., etc. And they let go the events that caused this illness. And once they do that, they're okay. They're okay. An American lady once get upset with me saying, how dare you suggest that my ulcers are caused by me? They must be caused by a virus. Standing next to us at that party was a young lady who had just joined my office 30 days ago. When she joined, she was actually throwing up with acidity, ulcers, a whole lot of issues because a previous boss was genuinely a, forget whatever word you want to use. 1 month in the atmosphere of my office, non-hostile, non-judgmental, cooperative, teamwork, friendly. Within 1 month, there were no ulcers. I told her, I said, why don't you explain to this lady? You're 25 years old, you've got over your ulcers. She's in her late 30s, and these ulcers are eating up. And she thinks that a virus causes that ulcer. Sadly, viruses do cause illness, germs, phobias, etc. But 90% of our illness is caused by our own negative emotions. When this whole COVID nonsense started, I had gone down to the market. In Bombay, these markets are filthy. I came back home, switched on my camera. I didn't take my shoes off. I wet my fingers in my mouth, rubbed them over my sole of my feet, the fingers back in my mouth. My point was, I said, my immune system is so strong that I am not going to pick up an infection from this bloody street. I'm not suggesting anyone does that, please. I just said, I know that I am not going to get sick from this. Because I know that the origins of disease lie in our emotions. It doesn't lie in the fact that I drank cold water today, like someone says, oh, I ate raw mango, now my whole throat is infected. I said, why should raw mango cause infection? It can cause soreness, but it cannot cause infection. So we as people have a tendency to blame our illness on external factors. That's not correct.